It Takes Two, Amy Eiler, JJ Gordon. It is National Career and Technical Education Month, Amy, kicking off in February, which to me says, okay, I've been out of school for so long that I actually don't know what that means anymore. Like, what does that mean to the average middle schooler or high schooler in the state of North Dakota? I just don't know.
Right.
Good news. Somebody does know what that means. And yesterday, we happened to come across a story about a startup here in North Dakota, CareerViewXR, and how they're positioning to provide middle schools and high schools with VR headsets, and exactly what that means for training the workforce of tomorrow. On the line right now, we have Matthew Shazi and Sarah as well. Matthew, first of all, let's start with this. Why get into the world of VR in 2024?
Well, actually, JJ, we got into the world of VR in 2016. My wife and I were co-founders. Actually, she was the founder and brought me on as CEO a couple months after we started. And I thought, well, what the heck? I have my MBA. How hard could it possibly be to start a business? And
I think a lot of people have thought that, by the way.
Right? Turns out it was quite a challenge. We created some residential real estate tours, then we started creating travel and tourism content. And then we found this niche with creating career experiences where we were able to create at first recruiting experiences that showed what a day in the life of different jobs was like. They could be viewed both on the web and in virtual reality headsets. And then schools started to see what we were doing and said, boy, if you can put an educational message in that, we can use it in our curriculum. And that kicked off the last 4 years of which we've been developing this product, CareerViewXR, that is a library of field trip and job shadow experiences that bring the job site into the classroom. We're bridging that career awareness gap to make sure that no student misses out on their dream job just because they didn't know it existed.
Just last week, I spoke at a career day, and to be honest, almost everyone showed up. You had a prop or two from your industry and then maybe a PowerPoint presentation or a video, but what we could do is nowhere even near what you're able to do with this virtual reality system and getting people like, oh, what does it look like? What's the hands-on of a day-to-day if you're working in a particular industry? I'm curious about this. Are kids receptive to it?
Oh, yeah, they love it. And they love it not because it's hype, it's authentic. Students do not have the opportunity to get on top of a wind turbine or go onto an active construction site or be inside the emergency room. In person is best, right? We absolutely want to give people as many in-person opportunities as possible. But for the vast majority of careers, there's time, safety, travel, financial, geographic constraints that prevent us from doing that. And virtual reality experiences through CareerViewXR solves all those problems.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what CareerViewXR is doing for these public and private schools across the state of North Dakota.
Yeah, so in 2023, the legislature actually provided funding for career exploration software that North Dakota Career and Technical Education decided to use to purchase access to our library of content for all middle schools and high schools. And throughout the course of last year, we were able to build a great partnership with HTC Vive, who is one of our preferred headset manufacturers. And we were able to negotiate a great price on headsets. And we are donating a virtual reality headset to every public and private middle school and high school across the state of North Dakota to ensure that all schools, every middle school and high school student has completely equitable access to the content library we've created.
And so you'll be handing these out at the upcoming NDCA conference, right?
Yep, that's where it'll start. We're going to do an initial handout to the career counselors and counselors to be able to bring them back to their schools and districts. But we've also got a phenomenal partnership with North Dakota Job Service, who has distributed regional offices. The surplus headsets that aren't picked up at that conference will go to the job service centers, and that will be the distribution point. And that accomplishes two goals. It makes sure the headsets get to a pickup point where the remaining schools can get theirs. And it also creates a touch point between the schools and job service, which is something that both of them desperately want to be able to do, and we can help be a conduit for that.
Well, and this is clearly a global enterprise. You also have Sarah from Immersive Reality with you. Sarah, tell me about creating immersive spaces that provide the VR feel but actually don't have the headset component to it.
absolutely. Firstly, let me apologise for my lost voice here. I've had so many wonderful introductions since I've arrived in Fargo, so the voice is disappearing quickly. But yes, you're right. We create immersive spaces so you don't have to use the VR headset. VR is absolutely incredible, but as we know, the headsets aren't suitable for every user. So it gives it really, truly accessible and inclusive, and also provides that collaborative and engaging environment for students to go in. So as you can imagine, it lends itself absolutely perfectly to the content that Matt and his team are creating.
Matt, are we the first state in the country to have VR headsets in every middle and high school?
To our knowledge, that is the case. I mean, we haven't seen any other statewide deployments like this. We are deployed in Kentucky across 34 of their area technical centers, and there are a number of districts that have done big projects. There's actually an RFP in Allentown, Pennsylvania we responded to. That's 21 districts. But this gets it into every single school district in our state. And I'm proud to say that I've never seen that happen before, and that we've had a great group of supportive partners to make it happen. And we're super excited, too, to have Sarah here from Immersive Reality, because one of the biggest challenges with VR is the individual headsets, the purchasing of additional headsets, the maintenance of those headsets. That, with new technology comes new problems that you have to be able to sort through. And the partnership with Immersive Reality does two things. All of the content that we've got, they can get into their immersive rooms. Now, imagine VR without the VR headset. You walk into the room, and a whole group of students can experience it at the same time, pointing at things, interacting, asking the teacher questions. Those are the spaces Immersive Reality creates, and our content is plug and play with those. So everything we've created here in North Dakota is going to be available to dozens of schools in the UK and an increasing number of schools in the US that are implementing these immersive spaces. And we're on a mission to figure out how do we bring more immersive spaces here to North Dakota, too, so it's fully accessible career exploration for every single student.
You know what I'm kind of thinking about is when I was in elementary school, we got a computer for the entire school, right? And it sat in the library, and it was new technology, and it excited people. And eventually that grew to an entire room full of computers. And by the time Amy and I graduated from high school, there were several computer labs, but now, like, her kids are being issued a computer on day one of school. They're a laptop. They can take it wherever they go. It's got great battery life. We're at that same story right now for virtual reality in educational setups. We're starting with one headset, but the possibilities are endless from this point on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think AJ, we're from the same era, right? Where you saw the media cart, or you heard the media cart getting wheeled down the hall, and you're like, oh, I hope it's coming. I hope that and the set of VHS tapes is coming into our class. And yeah, that's exactly where we're at right now, where, yes, we're early adoption. It's figuring everything out, but the content that is created, that's universal across all of the devices. And one thing I'm really proud to say is that the entire CareerView library, every single student-issued device that they currently have, the devices that are brought home, can be used to engage with the content at the dinner table. And then when we're talking about immersive spaces, that immersion can happen through VR headsets, and eventually these immersive rooms that are going to have, inevitably are going to be more adopted further and further across all schools.
In the meantime, before the room, though, could you get the VR headset to be on one of those big clunky rolling carts so that they can hear it coming?
Hey, just to build the anticipation,
yes,
right?
Yeah, exactly. This might be a silly question, but when we talk about these VR headsets being, sort of like a way for kids to experience careers as they're trying to decide what they want to do with their life, how many different settings are they able to be immersed into in this experience?
So right now we have 66 experiences that have been produced. We have 30 in various stages of production and are on pace for about 50 per year, which I'm proud to say is a larger library of content than any other 360 media provider has for career exploration type activities. And we've created such an amazing set of partnerships with industry associations and employers that basically any industry experience that we want to create, we have a connection to help open that door. You can't just walk into a manufacturing facility with a virtual reality camera and say, hey, can I film you doing your thing? Like that, they frown on that. We have to build partnerships to make that happen. And we're so well positioned with the amazing network of folks who got across North Dakota, Minnesota, into Kentucky. We launched a production grant where our goal is to be producing 1 or 2 experiences in 5 different states, and now connections abroad. This is something that is really exciting to be able to continue to expand. We just had a conversation today with Moorhead Career Academy about potentially engaging their students in the production of experiences.
Oh,
how them to learn to help produce us what goes into the classroom.
I love it.
If I was running a business right now, especially if I was saying, gosh, I don't know what the future of my workforce is going to be, I would be calling your company up right now and saying, how can I get on this? What do I need to do? Come on over, film everything. I'll have donuts ready when you get here.
Yeah, well, we're very open to those calls. Our production crew loves donuts.
I love it.
If anyone is interested in more information, where should they head online?
They should head to the CareerViewXR website, CareerViewXR.com. They can also head over to the Be More Colorful website. That's more our community tour and tourism site. But CareerViewXR.com is the career exploration focused site.
Matt, Sarah, thank you so much, and thank you very much for this great gift that you're giving to the schools here in North Dakota. You're getting the next workforce ready to go. They're excited to join that workforce. We appreciate your time today.
Hey, thanks, JJ. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.